This week, an appellate court in the state of New York upheld Donald Trump's contempt fine of $110,000 that he has to pay to New York Attorney General Letitia James. Now, if you're a little hazy on the details of this story, remember last year, Attorney General's office in New York subpoenaed Trump, asked for all these documents, everything, and they gave her a little bit, but they didn't give her everything. So she had to repeatedly go back to court and say, listen, you're not complying. Can you please give us the things that we're requesting? And they tried delay tactic after delay tactic. And ultimately, the judge in the case got fed up with it, was fining them, $10,000 a day. They carried on for 11 days before they finally complied. The contempt fines ended, but he still had to pay the amount he accrued, which was $110,000. He then, of course, appealed that because that's all Donald Trump knows how to do when things don't go his way in court. And now the appellate court has said, no, dude, you owe that. The court imposed that fine on you for a specific reason. And the reason is because Trump prejudicially violated the lawful, clear mandate of the court of which he had knowledge. And that's what they actually said in the ruling. Like, you did this and you did it intentionally and you knew you couldn't do it, but you decided to do it anyway. So you got to pay $110,000. But for a guy worth what he claims to be $10 billion, $110,000 is nothing. You can find that in the cushions of your couch, right? Now, here's why this story is actually even more important beyond the contempt charges in New York. It's not even charges, it's a fine. Donald Trump is currently facing sanctions in South Florida along with his lawyer, Alina Habba. Those sanctions include roughly $1 million worth of payments and I think $176,000 directly to Hillary Clinton for filing the frivolous lawsuit against her. They have put a retainer out there of over $1 million and told the judge, hey, don't cash the check yet because we're going to appeal this ruling. We're going to appeal the fines that you put in place. Now, granted, it's different jurisdictions. Granted, one of them is contempt, the other is a sanction. There is no reason to believe that sanction appeal is not going to go the same way that the New York contempt appeal went, and for the same reasons. The court issued an order. In the case of New York, the order was turn over the documents. In the case of Florida, the court order was you caused these people lots of harm financially by filing a frivolous lawsuit that you knew was frivolous. You have to refund their legal fees. Now, I have not seen, in my years of covering this, a judge's order for legal fees get overturned, especially when those legal fees come in the form of a sanction. That is something that happens quite frequently in the judicial system, and it is not something that gets overturned. So Trump will likely not only have to pay the $110,000 to Letitia James, he's also, along with Alina Habba, going to have to pay close to $1 million for those sanctions in Florida. And again, that is for the very same reason. The court gave you an order. You chose to ignore it in the case of New York. You chose to not want to comply with the sanctions in Florida. And ultimately, it's just going to cost you personally more legal fees for your lawyers to appeal it. And then you're still going to end up having to pay those fines anyway. You're wasting your own money and time with this, Donald. But if you're okay with that, I guess we are too, because in the end, you're not going to escape either of these penalties. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.